Hi, I'm Chuck Colson with this week's 2-Minute Warning. Would you have signed the Declaration of Independence? Would you have put your John Hancock, so to speak, beneath the words, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness"? Would you, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, have pledged to the other signers, Jefferson, Adams, Franklin, your life, your fortune, and your sacred honor? The stakes were high. Fortunes and lives, a nation, hung in the balance. But I bet you would have signed. Now will you sign a declaration today saying that the Bible is true and that about all it teaches, especially about human life, about human freedom, and about marriage, is true? Well, nearly 500,000 of you have, but many believers, I'm sad to say, have not. Many refuse. I've heard from some who will not sign it, but I've yet to hear one good reason why not. A megachurch pastor in a major American city was asked by a colleague to sign the Manhattan Declaration. His answer was, "I can't. I'll lose half my congregation who don't want to get involved in these sticky issues." What that means is he's perfectly willing to sacrifice the gospel, which is what these three issues relate to, for the sake of keeping his church happy. I had a long conversation one night with a leader of a wonderful parachurch ministry. He told me over and over that he agreed with protecting human life, religious freedom, and traditional marriage, but he'd made a deliberate decision that he would stick only with the issue of his ministry and wouldn't get involved in broader issues. Well, I love this man, and I understand what he's saying, but he's wrong. It's time we all abandoned this idea that we've got to protect our ministries. Forget about it. We've got to protect the purity of the gospel as it's being preached and practiced in American life. Then there are others who won't sign because Roman Catholics are signing on and they don't agree with them doctrinally. Okay, we don't all agree doctrinally, that's right. But we can all make a totally Christ-centered confession of our faith and stand together on the great moral issues that threaten this nation. And while I have my own deep convictions about my Baptist faith and therefore fundamental differences with Catholics, I can join forces with them on these critical issues the same way Abraham Kuyper did, the same way John Gresham Machen did, just the same way so many great leaders have done through the years. Go to manhattandeclaration.org, read the Declaration, and you'll understand why so many Christian leaders have signed on. How can we say we won't speak to the three fundamental moral issues of the day? The sanctity of life, religious liberty, and marriage, and then still say we're being faithful to preserve the faith entrusted to the saints once for all? Let's wake up, folks. If we remain silent now, over the next generation we will see a rapid weakening of Christian influence in the culture. I think this would bring our country down. And okay, the kingdoms of the world come and go, as Augustine said, but the kingdom of God presses on. And so as faithful citizens of God's kingdom, we've got to be the watchmen. We've got to call the church to account, present the message of the kingdom. Do you believe in the dignity and sanctity of human life? Do you believe in the institution of marriage, being one man and one woman? Do you believe in religious liberty? Good. Then the time has come. Speak out, organize, sign on, get others to join with you. I'm Chuck Colson. That's this week's 2-Minute Warning.